Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. A gorgeous day here in central Massachusetts today with warm temperatures, making it finally feel like spring. A big crowd was out enjoying the weather this evening in Worcester's Elm Park. And as you can see, it was a perfect day to head outside with temperatures reaching into the 70s this afternoon. Many say they're glad to finally be outside enjoying the spring warm-up.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. I mean, tomorrow is going to be more than that, so we love it.
I love this weather. It couldn't come soon enough. I was just tired of the cold. It was getting ridiculous.
Beautiful weather. My son was sick yesterday, so he couldn't enjoy it yesterday. And then today we came here and it's just packed.
I think many of us were sick of the cold, and tomorrow is expected to be an even warmer day than today with potential for record-breaking temperatures. We'll have more on the forecast coming up later in the show. Lieutenant Governor Polito making a stop in Worcester tonight at one of several events introducing an award-winning author known for his work on the opioid crisis. Sam Quinones, the author of Dreamland, spoke to a crowd at Worcester Vocational High School tonight. The book discusses the opiate crisis and how it came to be. Lieutenant Governor spoke at the event and tells Worcester News tonight it's important for the community to have public events and create a conversation about the epidemic affecting communities across the nation.
It was 2013.
I think the thing I'd like most people to take away from tonight is that we need to change the conversation around what it means to be addicted, especially starting with a prescription drug, and that we have to be a state without stigma so that people can view this as a health epidemic. It's not a character flaw to be addicted, and to get the kinds of treatment that they need, the long-term treatment to get on a path to wellness and recovery.
And Worcester County District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. helped bring Quinones to Central Mass. To one of their stops was Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. The DA says talking to people who work in the health fields is critical to addressing the opioid epidemic. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. says he read this book on America's opioid epidemic and says it answered all of his questions.
We talk to people on a daily basis that have lost sons, daughters, brothers, and sisters, and how did this happen? How did we get, a prescription overdose?
Author and journalist Sam Quinones wrote Dreamland. He made several stops in Worcester County Monday, including the Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences.
Talking to pharmaceutical students is a very important thing. They need to know that they're going to be a line of defense in all this. They need to know that they are going to be approached with all kinds of scams of ways of getting pills out of them.
Dreamland talks about the connection of overprescribing pills and how it can lead to heroin. Quinones says the book tries to describe the roots of the epidemic.
Where we got our heroin was very, very important because it became very cheap. We began to understand the nature of this revolution in pain management that took place, as I say, in the 90s. And to me, so I really backed into it. I spent a lot of years in Mexico, wanted to understand the Mexican side of it first.
The district attorney says in 2015, there were 219 opioid deaths in Worcester County.
That's like a plane falling out of the sky with everyone on board dying. Once people can wrap themselves around the problem, you give them a map, a roadmap, if you will, to how to fix it.
Pharmacy student Michaela Paparian says learning about the epidemic from a different perspective gives her new insight.
It's really important as pharmacists for us to do our job and to check PMP in all of these places to see and to prevent these diversions from happening.
Quinones says the parents of addicts who have so many questions is who he had in mind when writing the book.
I think that's important for them to know, at least. It may not help, in any kind of emotional way. I don't know. But I do believe knowledge is power.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
A Babson College student was killed after MBTA transit police say he was hit by a train early Sunday morning. Daniel Cooney was hit by a CSX freight train in Southborough. The 20-year-old from New Jersey was a sophomore at Babson College in Wellesley. He was a pitcher and outfielder for the baseball team. Police are investigating the accident but do not suspect foul play. A heavy police presence on Gold Star Boulevard Monday afternoon after a wreck involving a motorcycle outside Honeydew Donuts. Police were on scene and witnesses say it appears a motorcycle crashed into the front of this Honeydew Donuts on Gold Star Boulevard. Witnesses say the driver of the motorcycle was taken to the hospital, and this all happened around 2 p.m. Monday. It's unclear at this time what caused the crash. Worcester police are continuing to investigate. And a crash causing major traffic issues on the eastbound side of the Mass Pike this morning in Hopkinton. The crash involved 2 cars, a box truck, and 2 tractor trailers. The driver of one tractor trailer was ejected. That driver was taken to UMass Medical Center and is said to be in stable condition. The backup caused by the crash was 10 miles at one point. And dozens of legislators are signing onto a letter asking for the minimum per pupil increase for public school students to stay the same in the fiscal year 2018 state budget. State Senator Michael Moore says under the governor's budget proposal, the minimum per pupil increase would be $20 per student. He and more than 60 other lawmakers are asking the increase to stay at $55 per student. They say it will provide a significant boost in local aid for schools, especially for the more than 230 districts who rely on the minimum per pupil increases.
The school budget. Okay. So it's a direct assistance from the state into the funding of Chapter 7 for the cities and towns. This would actually mean a lot to a lot of the cities and towns who can't meet a lot of the foundation spending requirements.
The budget process is moving forward. The House Ways and Means Committee is expected to release their proposal this week, while the Senate's recommendations are scheduled for mid-May. An area high school senior may be the youngest runner registered out of more than 30,000 running in next week's Boston Marathon. As our Brittany Schaefer reports, while he may make a little history, the local man is running to give back to the community.
Joe Razuk is a senior at St. John's High School in Shrewsbury. Like many of his classmates, he's deciding on colleges, but he's also preparing for something most of his peers can't say they've been doing.
It's pretty crazy, honestly. It's nervous and exciting at the same time.
He's running in the 2017 Boston Marathon.
Can get pretty tiring with all the training and school and just everything going on.
It's great that Joe is really a visible example of what we hope all of our young men will be and do.
Runners must be 18 years old to be in the Boston Marathon. Razuk turns 18 this Saturday, just 2 days before the big day.
When we first started getting applications for our 2 bib numbers and Joe's crossed my desk and I saw his birthday, I actually had to call the BAA to make sure he was old enough to run the marathon.
The Shrewsbury native is running for Be Like Brit, and he has already raised almost $9,000 for the foundation.
Ever since the earthquake, my family has been pretty involved, going down to service trips, a lot of donations.
It's just seeing that they're able to fundraise this kind of money and at the same time training to run a marathon. They're so dedicated to this whole process, and it's been unbelievable for us.
While Boston Marathon organizers can't say for sure if he'll be the youngest runner on race day, Be Like Brit says he was the youngest to register as of March 22nd. Razuk did some of his training while volunteering in Haiti, and he says he's ready for the challenge.
It's going to be pretty emotional running with all those people and for a good cause.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.